we giveth and we taketh away. So we said some nice things about SpaceX, but now it's time to take a look at another part of Elon's empire, Tesla. Dead Teslas keep locking owners out of and inside their cars. There is an unmarked release latch described in the owner's manual, located in the battery-powered glove box. So there was one story. We're not going to show that, but there was one story about a woman who got locked in the Tesla, and she couldn't get to the owner's manual because when this happens, the glove box is automatically locked too. So you can't get to the owner's manual. You can't make it up. So firefighters recently resorted to breaking a Tesla's window to free a 20-month-old child locked inside after one of the vehicle's batteries died. Now, what's really funny about this story to me is, if you remember, we did a Tesla story on Jimmy's, and I said people could get locked inside. And the Elon stan said, no, that can't happen. That can't happen. Well, it can to a 20-month-old, and apparently to a lot of adults too, as we'll get into. The emergency rescue is the second of such incidents reported on this week by Arizona CBS News affiliate KPHO, and reiterates the potential dangers of the EV company's ongoing under-addressed battery issues in extreme heat. The frequently documented problem is tied to a smaller, separate 12-volt battery located in the EV that controls windows, door locks, and various other internal electronics. Even if a Tesla's main battery is charged, the car can trap people inside if the secondary battery drains or malfunctions. All Tesla owner manuals note a supposedly simple solution: unlabeled manual door releases located in front of the window controls and at the feet of rear passenger seats. But given that most car owners are more familiar with being locked out than locked inside a vehicle, many people likely remain unaware of the emergency stopgap. So this is what it is. Okay, so you do have this emergency thing, but it's not labeled as such. So most people just don't even know about it because it's not something that would normally come up with any car that people have experienced. The one in the rear, you really got to MacGyver this to get to this. So, and then there's a way to start it if all else fails that you really need a PhD for. Okay, so let's go to the video. We have a video of this girl who was locked inside the Tesla, and then we'll get back to this.
It's going to take my granddaughter to the zoo.
Renee Sanchez says she's a big fan of Tesla, but what happened to her recently has changed her mind. That's because Renee tells On Your Side she loaded her 20-month-old granddaughter into her car seat for a trip to the zoo.
And I closed the door, went around the car, get in the front seat, and my car was dead. I could not get in. My phone key wouldn't open it. My card key wouldn't open it.
As On Your Side explained in a recent On Your Side report, when the Tesla battery that operates electronics dies, there's a hidden latch on the driver's side armrest that will unlock the door manually. It's a latch many Tesla owners don't know about. But
yeah, no, who would not look for the hidden latch? Yeah. These people are so stupid not to look for the hidden latch when they get locked in their death trap in 115-degree weather.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
No,
and you can't get to the manual that tells you about the hidden latch because the glove box is locked.
Because it gets locked in the glove box. This is an ongoing theme that I find with these Tesla stories. Very, very bad engineering. If you understand part of engineering, a big part of engineering, particularly when what you're engineering are consumer products, is idiot-proofing everything. And I'm not even saying you're an idiot. Who would know that if you didn't know where that latch is? You have to make it user-friendly. That is a huge part of whether you have engineered it well. If you have
Especially-
engineered
sorry.
it in a way that people don't know how to get out of the car, if the battery dies, that's bad engineering.
Especially when it comes to automobiles, right?
Of course.
So, like, when you go to buy a car, imagine how hard it would be to sell a car if every single car operated in this very unique kind of weird way. Like, you know, a couple years ago, we had to buy a second car, right? Because my wife got the job here in Albany and, you know, she had to drive long distances. So we needed a second car. So we went to, you know, drive a Buick. Then we went to drive a Ford. Then we went to drive a Honda. We got in all three of the cars and we were kind of able to work them. We sit down in the car. We know, okay, I'm in a car now. Yes, I'm in a different make and model car, but wheels here, pedals down there, doors here, open the door this way. Like, when you're in a car, there's certain things you have to just be able to do without thinking. You shouldn't have to. You should, getting into a car should not be like getting into a space. Okay, how does this one work? How do I move it? You know what I mean?
And I find a lot of people who will defend this history of Tesla, of engineering things in a way that you would have to be a Tesla geek to understand, is they like feeling like this information
like they know
is
how to do
arcane.
it. No one else. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're so stupid. Why didn't you read the user manual? You know, that's almost not a bug, but a feature to the real Tesla fans.
You don't know about the hidden latch?
Yeah, and this is a mass consumer product.
Yes.
That is bad engineering if you are releasing a mass consumer product that traps people inside without any obvious way to get out. Right. Obvious being the key word.
Yes.
It has to be obvious. You're talking about a potentially deadly situation.
It has to be beyond obvious. It has to be unconscious. Right. You don't even have to think about how do I open the door.
Right.
You don't have to
much
expend
less to have a hidden latch.
Yeah, exactly. Opening the door should not be something it's not even obvious. Yes. Unconscious. Just like steering the wheel. Unconscious.
Well, and hey, look what happened here. And again, this is engineering. Okay. Say it's obvious to an adult. Is it obvious to a child? It's not obvious to an adult, but say it was. Is it obvious to a child? That's something as an engineer you have to think about things like that. Right. And there is an arrogance to the way that Tesla designs its products and assuming it doesn't have to think about things like that.
Right.
All right, so let's go on.
In this case, Renee was stuck outside of her Tesla while the toddler was trapped inside, buckled into a car seat. Renee tells On Your Side she had no option but to call 911, which immediately dispatched Scottsdale firefighters.
And when they got here, the first thing they said to me is, to Tesla, we can't get in these cars. And I said, I don't care if you have to cut my car in half. Just get her out.
Firefighters were forced to break a window with an axe, but they first covered the window with tape to keep glass from falling inside. Meanwhile, Renee's granddaughter sat alone inside the Tesla that was getting hotter and hotter.
So she was okay for the first few minutes. But as soon as the firemen came and all the commotion started and the windows getting broken into, she started crying because she was scared.
A firefighter was able to climb through the window and pull the toddler to safety. They even gave her a little fire hat to calm her.
After I knew she was safe, then the anger, and then all the thoughts of, oh my God, this could have been so much worse.
The 12-volt battery that powers the electronics had died with no warning. Tesla drivers are supposed to get 3 warnings before that happens, but the Tesla service department confirmed to Renee that she didn't get any warnings at all.
That's the thing. When that battery goes, you're dead in the water.
On Your Side has learned there is a way for drivers to unlock their cars when they're stuck outside, but it's a complicated series of time-consuming steps involving wires and battery chargers. But again, many Tesla owners and first responders don't even know about it.
You basically have to hotwire the car. Like civilians, non-mechanics have to hotwire. Non-bank robbers, non-car thieves have to understand how to hotwire a fucking car.
To educate the first responders, because they had no idea. None. They were as much in the dark as I was.
Renee wants to see Tesla add a better option to get into a car with a dead battery. And While she's been a big supporter of Tesla, this latest episode has shaken her trust.
So I give Tesla props. When it works, it's great. But when it doesn't, it can be deadly.
In July 2023, a 73-year-old man was reportedly forced to kick out a window in his Model Y after becoming trapped. A similar emergency occurred for a mother and her daughter in Illinois a few weeks later after renting a Tesla, while a California driver last month claimed she found herself stuck in her EV while waiting on an over-the-air software update that shut down her car. No, that's great. You know how all of a sudden that'll happen to your fucking computer? Imagine that happening to your car that you can't figure out how to get out of. It just decides to reboot. Yeah, no, that's safe. That sounds safe. In the 40 minutes it took to complete the update, it's even worse than Windows. Outside temperatures rose to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. The only other
the car
workaround
reboots the fucking porn on the screen or on the dashboard.
The only other
You thought you
workaround.
deleted? Yeah.
The only other workaround to battery issues appears to be a step-by-step solution in the owner's manual that only opens a dead Tesla's front hood by ostensibly hot wiring the car using external jumper cables. Where would you get those from? If this is the case, then people who find themselves locked out of their EV may need to continue relying on EMS and their axes until Tesla decides to address the glaring safety hazard. And this, make note of this, Tesla has gotten rid of its media department. They don't talk to the press anymore. So Popular Science reached out to Tesla for comments through its owner's manual feedback email, since the company does not have a publicly facing media department. They did not respond at the time of writing. How arrogant can a company be when you're having this many problems reported across your product line and your answer to it is, you know what, we're just not talking to the press anymore. We're not going to have a media department to address these things. That is very typical of Tesla and of Elon's products in general. It's a very fuck you consumer. This shit is cool. And if you don't see how cool it is, well, you're dumb. And
Right.
you're probably not even cool enough for the product.
Right. No, it's the same thing. This is why, like my father sometimes just like does not know how to do a very basic thing on a smartphone because it's not intuitive. If you're of a certain age and you didn't grow up using this shit, you wouldn't know how to get the flashlight on. Okay, the flashlight, you swipe down on the upper right-hand corner, boom. He'll swipe down in the middle and it won't work, or he'll swipe down on the upper left. I said, no, it's got to be upper right. Like, these are things that are just intuitive if you like grow up doing the shit. But if you don't, then it's not intuitive. And people grow up driving cars like this. Turn the key, drive the wheel, brake, door handle. Like, that's how everybody grows up riding in cars and driving cars. So when you come up with some cool, innovative way to do it better, is it better? No. I mean, I don't. What about that is actually better? How is the experience improved? When you come up with your own way of doing it that's not intuitive to people, yeah, it can cause problems. And worst case scenario, if you can't get the flashlight on your phone, you figure out some other way to see where the fuck you're going. Worst case scenario, you're stuck in a car in 110-degree weather. Like, it's just like, certain things have to be automatic.
Well, you hit it on the head. Okay. There is no reason that I can see that you couldn't have a traditional door handle that would open this car. There's no reason that it being electric should change that. And if anything, because it's electric, you need that more than on a gas-powered car because of what can happen where everything's, I guess, magnetically sealed. I'm taking that from the fire department saying they don't know how to get into it. I would imagine if it's a traditional latch, they wouldn't have that problem. They would know how to get into it. That I'm not sure about. But why not just have a handle like a normal car? This is what I'm saying. All of this, the Cybertruck is a perfect example. I finally saw one. We don't have a lot of this shit in New York. I saw many more Teslas in California when I was out doing Jimmy's show. I saw many more Teslas than I've ever seen here. Like, I actually rode in them when I ordered Uber. I've never had an Uber
Right.
show up with a Tesla here. And yeah, it looks like a fucking movie prop. It doesn't look like something that was designed for its purpose.
Right.
Or unless your understanding of its purpose was to give geeks a nerdgasm at the sight of it,
Right.
because they think they're in a 1970s B sci-fi movie when they drive it. But as a truck, it's completely impractical. And you get enough of these on the road, you wait until the first time one of these fucking hits a pedestrian.
Right.
Like, this is what I mean. Like, the engineers just don't even give a shit about the practicality or the consumer friendliness of the way that they're designing these things. Or who designs a car with it that's electric, where you know everything's going to lock up if a battery dies without having a very obvious failsafe?
Which
Tesla.
is
That's it.
Right. Right. And
That's the
manual
only car
override is as
company that
simple as
designs
a
that way
door
that
handle.
I know of.
Right.
Just put a fucking door handle there. No, that's not cool enough.
Yeah.
There has to be a hidden latch. You
Yeah.
have to have secret arcane knowledge in order to operate this.
It's the 21st century.
Please clap.